Stranger. Yes, it's me, Sekushi. I've been sitting here beside the bed for a while now, contemplating exactly what I was going to ask you when you woke up. Maybe. Depends on who you really are and why you're here. You still talk in your sleep, assuming, of course, that you really are who you say you are. You've been having some pretty intense nightmares. I'm surprised you didn't wake up sooner as much as you were tossing and crying out. It's been quite enlightening hearing the things you've had to say. No, don't worry about that yet. You've just woken up. Take a minute, gain your bearings. Just breathe. I said don't worry about that yet. We're going to take this slowly and calmly. I'm not going to rush into anything. You're not wrong there. I'm not as headstrong and reckless as I used to be. Well, not as reckless anyway. I've definitely matured since my youth. Watching your father gunned down in front of you and then being thrust into the role of head of the family will do that to you. We've got time, stranger. You're safe in my bed. Nobody else is in the room. If you get any ideas about taking advantage of that situation, however, know that some of my men are just outside the door. All of my men are on high alert, and I am very well armed. I do not automatically know that you could never hurt me, stranger. Why should I? I will decide by what name you should be called. Until I have made that determination, stranger will do. That is certainly true. I won't deny the obvious. With the blood and other pieces of viscera removed from your body and hair, I can see now that you very definitely look like her. But that doesn't convince me by any means. In fact, it creates an entirely new list of problems. It could be a proof that you're who you say you are. But as I said, it could also be a problem. You see, you do look like her. Exactly like her. You don't simply resemble her, you look like she did 15 years ago. If you're really her, you haven't aged since you've left. And since that's impossible, it creates an entirely new dilemma. I will ask those questions, but as I said, we're not going to rush into this. I'm still feeling you out, one dilemma at a time. So, you say that you are my first love. Then you'll recall that I used to call you Pippin, because you were playful and carefree, always getting me into trouble, but I loved you for it. Very good. That is a lie. You joked a couple of times that I should have been named Pippin for that reason, but it was never a pet name either of us gave the other. So then, what did I call you? Correct. My pet name for you was Peanut because you didn't have a wild side. You wanted to stay inside your shell. I had to push you into doing anything crazy. That's right. You were also smaller than me, and I found that to be adorable. You were easy to manhandle when I felt like it, and you loved it when I did. Very good again. That is also correct. I often referred to you as my puppy. You were cute, friendly, obedient, and fiercely loyal. That's right. I did buy a collar for you. It was one of the only things that made you stand up to me. Well, I say stand up to me. You whined and pleaded with me not to make you wear it in public. It embarrassed you so much, and honestly, I thought your whining was so heart-wrenchingly cute that I continued to threaten it just to get you to whine some more. Isn't it funny how you loved being my puppy then, and now... No, I'm sorry. I got off topic. That's my fault. We'll come back to that. But first, your favorite drink. My favorite movie. The food I make every single Thanksgiving and only at Thanksgiving. I never have it any other day of the year. Correct, correct, and correct. Okay, how about this one? When you would ask me to kiss you where you've never been kissed before, where did you want to be kissed? The Eiffel Tower, very good. That was our running gag, as well as our heartfelt desire at the same time. I did always like to joke around with things that sound dirty but aren't. Still do. You know, I heard that joke later on The Big Bang Theory after you left. Their response was Salt Lake City. Not as romantic as ours, but admittedly more humorous. When I heard them do that joke, I didn't laugh. I was conscious of the fact that I should have. I believe I would have laughed hysterically had you been here with me. But you weren't here, were you? And because you weren't here and I wanted you here, hearing that joke, our joke, on TV like that out of nowhere only made me miss you more. I'm not entirely there, but I'm getting there. You definitely look like her. You've answered everything correctly, but I still don't know. The thing is, a part of me doesn't want to believe it's really you. Because I haven't decided what I'm going to do once I'm convinced it's really you. Do I kiss you? Or do I kill you? Do I throw my arms around you and welcome you back? Or do I pistol whip you once for every time your absence was a harpoon to my soul? Will I make you suffer for every time I cried in the dark because I pictured you dead in some godforsaken corner of the world when I didn't have to? You could have been here with me. You could have been here. I cut myself off from feeling anything for most of my life after I accepted that you had died. I protected myself from feeling that way again about anybody. And now that I know you could have been here the whole time, part of me wants to call you a liar and empty my weapon into you for daring to pretend to be my long lost love. And part of me wants to believe you're her and empty my weapon into you anyway. Yeah, There's a third part that's keeping this conversation going. The third part that hopes there's a valid reason that kept you away. The part that wants to hear a story about how you longed to return every day of your life but were kept away for some horrific reason not of your own design. Of course I thought you were dead. Why wouldn't I have thought that? How dare you ask me that? You never returned. I thought you loved me. I thought you'd be back quickly, but as the days went on and you didn't come back, I actually held a funeral for you. No, nobody else knew about it. It was just for me. You know my father. He would have disapproved. Would have said I was being too sentimental. When I finally accepted the fact that you were never coming back, I put your photo on a small pillow, put that pillow in a shoebox, and buried it out back. Where else? I put it under the oak tree where I first kissed you. Yes, I'm convinced it's you. You're my peanut. That's right. Now I've got to decide how I react to that. Do I allow my joy to win the day, or my rage? So now, you've got a story to tell me that will tip the scales. But in addition to the question of why you never returned, there's still one colossal mystery to be solved. If you really are her, if you really are my peanut, then why haven't you aged? Why do you look exactly the way you did when you left? Because I've got to tell you, the only explanations I can come up with veer into creepy supernatural arenas. Given the extraordinary feat of strength that I witnessed yesterday, a sci-fi answer feels even more likely. So, Peanut, why don't you start by telling me what you know about werewolves? No, Peanut. I didn't just bring that up out of nowhere. You did. As I said before, you still talk in your sleep. Do you recall the first time you ever confessed to me? That's right. It was in your sleep. You were so shy and timid that I had to hear it while you were unconscious. And now, it seems that you've confessed again in your sleep, only this time, you've confessed to something completely different. The main reason why I've been sitting here by your bed for so long is because I knew that if it was really you, you'd give me something to go on before you even woke up. And I was right. So talk, Peanut. Tell me all about werewolves and how they're connected to you. Explain it to me in exquisite detail. Entertain me with a story I can't believe. And then make me believe it. Ooh. When I asked to be entertained, you decided to go all out. Are zombies and vampires involved too? Should I get popcorn before we go on? No, Peanut. I'm not making light, but damn! Last night I was thinking you'd better tell me a story about how you were shanghaied by pirates and carried away against your will, Ben-Hur style. But lycanthropy? Seriously, Peanut, you're telling me you're an honest to God werewolf? And you know what's even crazier? I believe it. Your strength, the fact that time hasn't touched you, the condition we found you in, and that bloody mess at the warehouse. It all makes sense. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot I do need to learn. That will come. So that's why you left. When you told me that you were leaving to become worthy of me, I thought you were off to make a name for yourself, to return with riches and power or the like. You just meant you were trying to become human. Did you discover a cure? I see. No, I'm beginning to understand. If something like that would have been manifesting in me for the first time at 18, I think I'd have been more than a little freaked out, and probably would have done something stupid myself. How difficult was it to control initially? Really? That was you? We all thought Antony ran afoul of another mob boss or owed too many people money. What was it that really got him killed? No, I believe it. I do remember him as an abusive prick. I guess he just decided to pick on the wrong guy at the wrong time. That's part of why you left, isn't it? You were afraid of lashing out at me unexpectedly, weren't you? You left to protect me. Hoped you'd discover a cure and then return one day. You obviously didn't find the cure. Then why are you back now? Protect me from what? I've had a price on my head before. Then you'll tell us what we need to know and we'll prepare for them. But I'll deal with that later. As far as you're concerned, should we stock up on silver bullets and wolf's bane? Or lock you underground during a full moon? So, all of what we think we know is wrong. Of course. It couldn't be that simple, could it? You'll have to clue me in on what is correct one of these days. For now, answer me this. Last night, when I had my gun to your head, if I had pulled the trigger, would you have walked away from that? Good to know. That's a very good question. Where do we go from here? You still have a lot to tell me. We've only just scratched the surface on a number of different topics, but here's where we're going to start. Here, put it on. Yep, it's the very same. The collar I used to make you wear when we were alone. I've kept it near me all this time, and now you're going to wear it all the time. I'll tell you why. Because, Peanut, I get it. I get why you left. I get why you did what you did. I believe you when you say you loved me and wanted to keep me from harm. And I know that within your own heart you believed that you were doing the right thing. But, dog, you still left me. I suffered. And I suffered for years. And as much as I know that you were trying to help me, you still hurt me deeply when you didn't have to. You scarred me, and those scars are still visible. You should have come to me. You should have asked for my help. I could have gone through this with you. I could have gone with you. I could have shared the burden. I don't care if that would have put me in danger. That was my choice to make. I could have had a life with you, but you took that away from me. And now, a part of me still wants to hurt you. So now, you're going to climb out of bed. You're going to put on that collar. You're going to let my men take you down to your cage, and you're going to be my dog, isolated and alone for a good long time before I decide to visit you again. I am not your lover. I am not even your friend. I am your master, and you are my lapdog. Do you understand? That's yes, master. Better. Diego, Valentina, take my new dog to her cage. Make sure she has a comfortable place to sleep, enough papers to wet on, and food from time to time, and nothing else. No, dog, you do not speak to me. I speak to you. I will see you when I see you. Diego, Valentina, remove her.